Welcome to 6 Minute Hump Day, where we help entrepreneurs get through their busy week with a dash of inspiration, motivation, and a touch of education.
Welcome everyone to our first edition of our 6 Minute Hump Day. We're going to be going through every Wednesday a 6-minute little segue where I will either answer questions, give a little motivation to our entrepreneurs that are listening, or bring on a guest for a quick Q&A. Today, what I'm going to be doing for our first episode, I'll be going back to some questions I never answered from my social media Q&A a few weeks back. Let's get this going. Question I'm going to be answering today is from Alan from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. Alan's question was, when I'm looking for a location for my new business, what should I be looking for? This is actually a great question, Alan. Location could be the difference from profitability or going bankrupt within the first year of starting up. I jotted down 8, important aspects you want to look for or answer to yourself when you're trying to find your location or searching for a location to start your own business. There's no particular order. I'm going to go through them. I just jotted them all down prior to starting this podcast. The first one I'm going to be looking at is the future. And what I mean by the future is, could you see yourself being at this location 5 years, 10 years down the line, setting your roots at this location? Do you think you're going to outgrow this location with the first year or two? These are all important questions because you don't want to be getting a location, spending a ton of money on startup costs, building costs, and a year later realize this location wasn't suitable from the get-go. It's not big enough, doesn't suit your needs, doesn't suit the growth of the business. That's essentially one of the most important things you want to look at is the future of the company, and will this location suit you 5 years, 10 years down the line? The next is parking. If you are a company or a business that walk-in customers, drive-by customers is important. Having essentially enough parking spots to suit your customers' needs is vital for the business. You don't want to have 2 spots of parking and then all of a sudden on a busy Saturday, you got 10, 15 cars all looking for parking to get into your retail location. So parking is something you want to look for, whether it's public parking down the street, whether it's street parking, whether you have your own parking lot. Make this a vital part of your list when you're searching for your location. Another thing I'd always think of is accessibility for your employees. Is it near public transit? Is it near housing? If your company is going to grow and you are growing with your employee base, will the business be accessible to them for transportational purposes? Another aspect I'm going to bring up is how far are you to your suppliers? What I mean by that is, if you're in a business that is working with a co-packer or a raw materials supplier that's located in your town, your city, or your province, wouldn't it be smart to logistically have your location as close by as possible to theirs? It's going to save a ton of money on logistics. So that's one thing just to keep in mind if you are one of the lucky companies that do have your co-packers or raw materials in the same city or town. One thing also I think would be obvious is competition. Is there a competition nearby your locations to search for that? You're never going to be able to stop if you're a small business, a big box giant, or opening up down the street, or a competitor opening right across the street. But if you're going to a situation where you already have a competitor down the street that has established roots in that community or that city, I would be looking for another location to pretty much create your own roots and your own customer base. Another thing I always would recommend is almost scouting out the location for a couple of days, looking for traffic flowing away. The reason I'm saying this is studies have shown the average person will drive by a sign or a shop, say 3 times on average, before they even recognize the shop or even realize it's there. Now add another 2 or 3 times before it might click in the back of their head, if not more, before they decide to come in. But having a steady flow of traffic on that major intersection or that street is so important for the longevity of the business. Once you have found your location, there's 2 more aspects I want to go through with you guys. The first would be opening costs or operational opening costs for the business. For example, if it needs bathrooms, do you need to build offices? What are going to be your renovational costs to get the place up and running to your standard? How much money you're going to have to invest in renovations? That way you can allocate that number into your starting budget of the business. And I think the last thing I'm going to go through is figuring out your numbers, your operating costs of that business in that location. What are your taxes? What is your TMI? What is your lease or rent cost? If you decide to purchase the building, what's your mortgage cost in that building? What's your down payment cost? These are all things that you're going to have to adjust and put into your budget. So these numbers have to be dead on. So you start off with a comfortable situation, not a situation where you're kind of treading water, trying to figure out if you're going to pay your bills within the first couple of months. So you want to be able to go into a situation that you're comfortable and you have to allocate enough money put aside to get the business up and running in that location. And one last one I guess I totally forgot of is a lot of new business owners go into a location very raw, very unexperienced. And the simplest question they forget to ask is zoning. Make sure that building, that shop, that area is zoned for your business, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's a salon, whatever your business is, make sure the municipality is given the zoning, proper zoning for that location. This is a wrap for our first 6-minute hump day. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Jeff Lopes. I'm going to give you a little teaser. This coming Monday on our next podcast, our guest is going to be Adam Jablin. Guy has an amazing family history, 3 generations of entrepreneurs. Great story, great person, 14 years of sobriety. Such an inspiring story, an inspiring person. I know everybody's going to love it. It'll be aired on Monday. Have a great week. Thanks for listening. Always move forward.